high harmony seekers. Today, we'll continue to talk about trust and security, the foundation of love in the modern age. We're going to talk about the importance of trust in long-term commitments. Trust is like sunlight. It nourishes the deepest roots of love. It's like the foundation of a beautiful love story that stands the test of time. Open communication is like a beautiful symphony that brings together our unique rhythms. The attachment styles are really interesting. They help us understand how our past experiences shape the way we interact with others. It's like we all have our own unique dance moves. It's all about having support during external challenges and learning how to navigate smoothly even when things feel uncertain. And you know what's amazing? Even when there are storms outside, our tree somehow manages to find support and stay strong. It's pretty impressive, don't you think? Whenever I look at the city's skyline, it really makes me think about how our lives are always changing and evolving. It's interesting how our relationships are always changing and growing. The level of trust we have with someone really shows how we're building a strong, long-lasting connection. Commitments like these aren't just about sticking together, but also about flourishing and growing together in a happy and balanced way. So, after years of working and accumulating, Daniel and Jessica finally can afford to build their own dream home. However, they were faced with a big decision that could change their lives forever. They had this dream of building a beautiful home near the scenic docklands. They imagined waking up every morning to those peaceful harbor views. But as they got into the discussion, they realized that their ideas for the future house were going in different directions. Daniel was really into this sleek, modern look, while Jessica was all about that timeless, fancy vibe. Trust in long-term commitments is kind of like the solid foundation that holds up the impressive skyscrapers. These buildings are so tall, they practically touch the sky. But at the same time, they're firmly rooted to the ground, which keeps them stable. Trust is really important in our relationships. It helps them to become stronger and more resilient so that we can face life's challenges without worrying about everything falling apart. Have you and your partner taken some time to sit down and talk about your dreams and goals for the future? How often do you sync your compasses to make sure we're all going in the same direction? It's totally normal for two people to have different dreams in life. It's really important to find a balance between your dreams when you're in a relationship. The beauty is not about taking over someone else's dreams, but about weaving them together, creating a shared tapestry of aspirations. Trust goes beyond just being faithful. It's about believing in each other's dreams, understanding each other, and sometimes making compromises to make sure both of our visions have a place in our future together. Have any of you ever experienced that moment of doubt or hesitation when you and your partner had different visions for the future? That little voice in your head that wonders if your paths are truly aligned? Daniel and Jessica decided to take a break from their architectural blueprints in order to strengthen their bond and trust. They had such a lovely weekend together. They worked on a vision board, one of those cool projects where they put all their dreams, hopes, and even fears on it. It was a really special and collaborative experience for both of them. Guess what? They actually found out that they had some common goals that they never even talked about. Can you believe it? Like, they both dream of having an open terrace garden and a super cozy reading nook right by the fireplace. How cool is that? This wasn't just a board. It was like a beautiful tapestry representing their future life together. As Daniel and Jessica were putting the last pictures on their vision board, they realized that not only did they have a clear idea of how they wanted to design their home, but they also had a clear direction for their future. They came to the realization that when they shared, listened, and combined their dreams, they were building a strong foundation of trust for their journey through life. Sometimes in life, we come to a point where our paths might seem to be going in different directions. But when we trust each other and keep our hearts open to understanding our partner's dreams, we can walk together, hand in hand, making sure that every step we take is in harmony. How do you and your partner make sure that your dreams and goals are intertwined? creating a beautiful shared vision for the future? This vibrant city full of culture and spirit relies heavily on communication. It's what brings us together, connects us, and helps us navigate our relationships. You know, communication is just as important in a relationship as the air we breathe. It's like a vital thread in the fabric of love. As I was sitting in a cute cafe in Brunswick yesterday, enjoying the coffee on a beautiful sunny afternoon, I sat there, sipping my drink and relaxed. I noticed the couple sitting at the table in front of me. They lost in their thoughts, gazing off into the distance. Their silences spoke volumes. With my experiences, I guessed, even though they had some really beautiful moments together. There were also times when misunderstandings kind of put a damper on things. I can see that they really loved and cared for each other, but sometimes their words, or lack of them, caused some tension to build up. Just like the intricate tram system right on the back of this cafe. These trams are like a lifeline for the city, connecting different parts and making sure everything runs smoothly, kind of like how veins keep our bodies going. Open communication in a relationship is kind of like these tramlines, don't you think? Love thrives when communication is smooth and uninterrupted. You know, when something goes wrong, it really puts a lot of pressure on the whole system. Have you ever experienced that feeling in your chest where you hesitate to tell your partner something? Maybe because they're scared or they don't want to upset anyone? You know, relationships are kind of like a dance. It's all about the words, the feelings, and the understanding between two people. The couple that I saw could possibly face some barriers even though they loved each other. Why though? Usually, it's not that there's no love, but more like there's a lot of fear going on. Afraid of being judged, hurting others, or being misunderstood. But you know, real love is all about understanding and being open with each other. Listening is all about understanding the emotions and intentions behind the words. It's about tuning into the heartbeats behind what someone is saying. And you know, when you really get it, you're like fully embracing the true meaning behind those words. If two people would just simply sit down together with 2 cups of tea or coffee and gave each other the freedom to talk, to let off steam, to share, and most importantly, to be listened to, that would be a wonderful present for your partner. How often do you make time to have heartfelt conversations with your loved one? In the big web of relationships, open communication is like the tramline that keeps us connected so we can share in each other's happiness and sadness. The bridge is like a magical connection between 2 souls, making their love journey smoother, more harmonious, and incredibly fulfilling. How can you make your relationship a safe space where you and your partner can freely express yourselves and truly understand each other? As I take a walk alone around the city, in the fresh, cool air, it's hard not to notice how every corner has its own story, secret, or work of art. It really reminds me of the complex web of relationships that make up this city. Each person is like a unique thread, weaving together with others. I thought to myself, if we understanding our partner's attachment style can really make a difference in this city's diverse mix of personalities. It's like a game changer. As I continue strolling towards the art gallery, and in the distance, I spot 2 figures holding hands. The lady with her vibrant red hair that shines like the colors of city sunsets, and the man who's tall and has these thoughtful eyes always seem to be observing everything. They both going to the art gallery as well. Inside the gallery, I noticed that they had their own unique ways of interpreting the artwork. The lady would always get up close to the artwork, squinting her eyes and trying to take in every little detail. On the other hand, the man liked to stand back and appreciate the artwork as a whole. So, it turns out that this difference was actually symbolic. So, I realized that this couple saw their relationship in different ways, kind of like how people see art differently. This was because they had different attachment styles. If you've ever strolled through the graffiti-filled streets of the city, you'd totally get how every artwork has its own story, with each brushstroke carefully planned and every color chosen with purpose. Attachment styles are kind of like the city's street art, you know? They're all different, really unique, and they can have a big impact on us. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt confused or frustrated because you couldn't understand why your partner was reacting a certain way? Have you ever experienced a situation where you found it difficult to understand your partner's reactions and emotions? You know, in our relationships, it's kind of like in art. There's this incredible beauty that comes from truly understanding each other. It's kind of like how the city's street art is all diverse and coexists together. We can totally do the same thing with our partner's attachment style. It's not about trying to change them, but rather about embracing and adapting to them. Just think about how amazing our relationship could be if we both understand and adjust to each other's attachment styles. It's like creating a beautiful mural of harmony together. Can you recall a time when your partner surprised you with their reaction? Have you ever tried checking out a piece of art from different angles, distances, or even in different lights? Isn't it amazing how transformative it is? I totally agree that relationships are like a blank canvas where we can create something beautiful together. Every emotion is like a brushstroke. The color you chose can really make a big difference. When we embrace our differences, something truly beautiful happens. We create a masterpiece of love and understanding. I am wondering, how do you make sure you really get and honor your partner's emotional needs and reactions? Let's talk about something that's just as unpredictable and constantly shifting as this city's weather. Life. Life can be full of surprises. And sometimes we need to be the ones who bring peace to someone else's chaos. Let's talk about the importance of having a partner who supports you through life's ups and downs. It's like having an anchor to keep you steady when things get tough. I've got a great story to tell you about this couple named Leo and Alice. Leo, this amazing and lively man, was up against a really tough challenge. He lost the job he loved, the one he had put his heart and soul into, out of the blue. He started feeling unsure and doubting himself as the clouds of uncertainty rolled in. But you know what? Alice, his partner, really embodied that saying we always say 4 seasons in a day during this gloomy phase. She was always there for him, like his rock, reminding him that just like the weather in the city, their situation could change in an instant. You know, the beauty of a relationship is kind of like those iconic laneways in the city. From far away, they might just look like your average people. But if you keep exploring, you'll stumble upon some awesome surprises, hidden gems, and uplifting messages scribbled on walls. They're like little reminders that there's still beauty to be found, even in the midst of all the chaos. It's like when you're in a relationship, it's the support you give each other during tough times that really shows how strong your love is. If you could just take a moment and take a deep breath. Take a moment to reflect back and remember a time when you encountered a challenge from the outside. Maybe it was because of a health problem, losing a job, or some other unexpected thing. Do you remember how your partner supported you? How did their support make you feel? As you know, life is really just a bunch of tests we have to go through. It's not about trying to stay dry when it rains, but rather embracing the rain and learning to dance in it. You know, when you hear that thunder and see the dark skies, it's all about having that trust in your partner. It's knowing that they'll be right there with you, holding an umbrella for both of you. That's what really makes the journey not just bearable, but also something that can really change you. The true measure of a relationship isn't determined by the good times alone. It's really about how both of you handle the tough times and face challenges together. If your partner is going through a difficult time, what do you think you would do in that situation? Life can be unpredictable, just like the weather. We face challenges that come and go, like passing clouds. But the trust and support we give and receive from others are like protective umbrellas that keep us safe. They're the ones who protect us, keep us down to earth, and above all, make the whole experience meaningful. Can you think of a special memory or moment where you and your partner faced life's challenges together? How did that experience affect your relationship? Exploring trust and security in relationships is like taking care of a fragile garden. Trust is like the fertile soil that nourishes the roots, while security is like the gentle sun that warms the blossoms. The world is always changing, with all the complexities of modern life. It's important to be mindful when it comes to nurturing love. Do you remember those times when we were talking about digital trust? Or when we were exploring attachment styles? It's amazing how each of them has really blossomed into something great. It's a great reminder of how we all have this natural ability to nurture, heal, and grow. You know, just like any gardener would tell you, the real happiness doesn't just come from seeing the flowers in full bloom. It's all about the journey, the gentle nurturing, the patience, and the love that goes into it. As we wrap things up, I really hope you'll take these conversations to heart and start nurturing your own gardens of love and intimacy. Make sure to cherish every moment, every challenge, and every joy that comes your way. In this beautiful garden of relationships, every seed planted with love will surely bloom. As we come to the end of this final chapter in our journey, in this part, we'll be exploring some important conversations like the true meaning of long-term commitments, the importance of open communication, understanding different attachment styles, and how to support each other during tough times. Just like petals on a flower, each of these themes comes together to create the beautiful blossom of love and understanding. You know, relationships are kind of like rivers that keep on flowing and changing. There's always something more going on beneath the surface. But you know what? I feel like there's even more to uncover and understand. It's like there's another layer just waiting to be explored. In our upcoming episode, Overcoming External Pressures in Relationships, it's in that very place where we'll find the compass to help us navigate through the storms together. Let's use our combined wisdom to light the way. You know, sometimes the world outside can really affect our relationships and cast shadows on them. How can we navigate these external pressures together